nuts?
What they gotta do with Kevin Smith of VS Universe? Nothing. It means I didn't save any new clips. Welcome to the Countdown, brought to you by a show about shows, brought to you by me, JPO, Jordan Pierce Owens, brought to you by my mother Rita, brought to you by her mother Rita, brought to you by, I don't know, my family lineage that far back. I am joined here today by another lovely member. You've seen him all over this channel and here. You've seen him all over Lonely Marks, Moving Hero Network, Richie G. Richie, I'm good here. What's
Sup?
up?
What's up? Yeah, man. Looking forward to this. It'll probably be a shorter countdown because there's only really 7 movies in contention. But it's I think it's a solid list regardless. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Clerks 3. I really love visiting this universe whenever we get a movie. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Been a big Kevin Smith fan pretty much my whole life, and have grown to just really love the human being that is Kevin Smith. I love the fact that he's a big champion of kind of creating your own stuff, whether it's a podcast, whether it's your own movie, and just generally seems like a cool human being. I love all his, whether they're stand-up specials or DVD commentaries. I'm a fan here. There's not a movie on the list that I dislike, because again, we are talking, just to clarify, View Askew films, so things like Tusk, Yoga Hosers, Red State, that won't be on here. These are just from the VOSU canon. Two caveats too. I believe you're with me. You're not including the cartoon, Richie.
Nah, I mean, like, I think we all, it was very like real. Was not seen that much, and then
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's worth checking. Again, if you're a Jay and Bob fan, check out Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie. But again, it's kind of cheaply, crassly done. And so I don't know. For me, I felt like it was weird to compare to the others. It would have easily been my number 9, basically. Like what I mean. So if you want to kind of throw that out there right now for me, number 9, super groovy cartoon movie. And another caveat too, if you're wondering how we're still at 8, if you're in case you're not thinking about it, we are going to include Zach and Miri Make a Porno. Makes it a little bit longer of a list. Plus, it's one of those debatable things now that Justin Long's character was in Reboot. It's become kind of sort of canon, just depending on who you ask. But I figured, I think we both kind of agreed. Let's throw that one in there because it is technically part of that universe now. They put it in after Reboot came out. So so the 8 films in the VS universe are the ones we will be discussing tonight. Richie, you ready?
Yep.
Alrighty. I'm gonna kick things off here. We're gonna talk about my number 8 here. Maybe a controversial pick for being number 8 because I do know on some people's list, and that's the fun thing about this is I'm sure everyone maybe has a different number 1 here. But for my number 8, I'm actually gonna go with Mallrats is my 8th favorite here in the View Us universe. There's a lot of fun to be had here. Of course, we know the dating game, the chocolate pretzels, and one of the best cameos in Stan Lee. But there's also problems with it. I think this is obviously very early on Kevin Smith, so it still looks not as good as some of his other films here. And I don't really care about the main 2, female male relationships as much as I probably should. It's Jeremy London. I feel he's kind of whiny. He doesn't deserve Fulani, and and Jason Lee's also got his problems. Where I don't really know if he deserves Shannon Doherty. But like I said, this is still not me saying this is a bad film by any means. I still enjoy it. Good, easy rewatches here. Of course, you got Ethan Suplee trying to figure out the goddamn sailboat. You know what I mean? A good amount of Jay and Bob. They're kind of in this just as much as they should be. And it's an interesting one. It's probably, I think, the first one I ever saw too. Interestingly enough, but it's my number 8 is Mallrats. What you got at number 8, Richard?
I'll say we're not giving away the rest of my list. I don't think it's as controversial as other people would think, but yeah, we'll get. And that's my dogs. Anyway, I'm powering through that. My number 8, actually a more recent addition to the View Askew. It is going to be James Silent Bob Reboot. I thought this movie was good. I just felt it was missing something. You know what I mean? I did have fun revisiting this universe again. I just thought it just didn't hit me the way the other ones do. But yeah, it's cool to see everybody in there. So, I love all the cameos. Chris Jericho makes an appearance as KK guy. K guy. Yeah, I do I do have fun with it. It's just it's not as like memorable or enjoyable as some of the rest on this list. So but like it's still I would still recommend watching the film. It is good, but yeah, it's just maybe a little bit disappointing just because my expectations are so high coming up like Strike Back, but it's still a good movie. So yeah.
Well, I'm not too far off from you, Richie, because we're going to continue this Bean footage because this is my number 7 James on Bob reboot. This is definitely fan service up the wazoo, and it fits if you are a fan of these characters and you kind of want to catch up with Boo Boo Kitty Foot. If you want to see where DJ Bader's character kind of doing the same thing he did in Strike Back, and if you want to see a little bit more of Vanderbeek and Biggs kind of not really adding anything new. This is here. There's some new stuff. You got Harley Quinn Smith here, as well as a couple other female protagonists kind of popping up and setting the story along the way here. Great seeing Jason Lee, whose character is back. And of course, the best part, I think, in my opinion, is the Ben Affleck part towards the end here. I think the best emotional part in it, one of the best written parts, and a late addition to the film. They were filming this, um, not knowing that they're going to get Affleck for it here. I like the update of even Matt Damon's Loki had been very punny, but that's the thing here. I think this is great for if you're a fan of these series. Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this to someone that isn't already a fan. Like if you're not a fan of Clerks of Strike Back, I'm not sure if this is going to do much for you. But for me, it did. It was fun, and it's another one that as much as it's my number 7, I probably have already seen it like 3-4 times. I just recently did a rewatch in preparation for Clerks 3, so I definitely still have some fun with it. Hey,
Yeah.
Q, what do you got for your number 7?
All right. Yeah. Well, you can put another clip back up that we already had. My number 7 is Mallrats. As much as I do love this like film, it's been in like it speaks to like Kevin Smith's filmography that this was in my top 64, and it's not it's like when it's like my least favorite Kevin Smith films. It's still very big, but it's still but in saying that it's still good. I still really enjoy it. And I think maybe my issues with it are the same with yours. It's like like these characters are kind of like Jim London and yeah it, characters kind of irredeemable here. But and you don't really rooting for them, but I do have fun, and like uh, the Ethan Suplee in the sailboat is probably the main thing I remember with and so I still like I said like with all these films I still watch them a lot. And then like in Jason Lee and all the ones are good here, and I do like I do like like James Silent Bob's inclusion there. I think they add a lot to the film, but it's not. Yeah, you can tell they're coming off the success of like Clerks. He's still Kim Smith's still trying to find his footing here, but it's still it's still really good. I still enjoy it. But it's not a bad film at all. But I just had to rank it number 7.
Very good, very good. Coming in now, going to number 6 here on the list. And number 6 is the one we kind of mentioned before, is one that maybe included in the Views Universe. Maybe you don't. Well, but we do. So suck it. It's our list. It's our show. Zach and Miri make a porno, or just Zach and Miri if you're Walmart and you don't want that on your DVD shelves. So this was, Kevin Smith has kind of said this was his kind of diving into kind of trying to be more, Judd Apatow, slightly, a big, really, really big star at the time, Seth Rogen, Elizabeth Banks. I enjoy their relationship in this here. I like the build up. I do actually kind of find it pretty organic and believable. These two buddies who kind of slowly realize, like, man, they're kind of like perfectly meant for each other, and they just kind of let the friendship kind of take way here. Justin Long, who we mentioned, is the reason it's kind of in the VSQ universe now. His scene is so awesome here, man. I'll find myself sometimes just throwing on the beginning his scene basically because I just think he absolutely owns it, as I was Brandon St. Randy, or and again, good eclectic cast here. It's supported out. Craig Robinson, very funny here. Um, I love the guy that owns the coffee bean shop as well. Gary Bednob, I want to say, or something like that. Tyler
Yeah.
Labine in a great 2 second cameo as the drunken customer here. Katie Morgan, very likable. Jason Mewes getting to play someone different. So, um, oh yeah, there's two muses out there. But yeah, no, again, I still think it's delightful. Like I said, it's definitely not. I think there's a reason why it's number six, but there's a reason why I still I think a really fun flick. So Zack and Mary as my number six.
All right. Well, you might as well keep it up there because that's my number six. Uh,
We got a
uh,
really interesting dynamic here where we just agree a
Very
lot.
interesting dynamic, yeah. So yeah, no, I do really like this film. I like the chemistry between Elizabeth Banks and Seth Rogen. Yeah, like, I think they're the second movie together outside of 40-Year-Old Virgin. Um, but yeah, and I think I like all the characters here. Yeah, and it's cool. Yeah, I think the more memorable moments to me are like Justin Long, who I think before this movie, you sort of just saw Justin Long as a sort of he was always cast as a nerdy guy, the sort of nerdy kind of but lovable dude. And then to see this like change in him, where he's just like this sort of like alpha, like sort of like almost like this sort of posh guy with like Brandon Ralph. It's really funny. And yeah, like some of his lines are the best lines in the film. And then yeah, I think the other memorable moment is when like Jeff Anderson, the director, gets pooped on. Yeah, it's a bit of spoiler. Gets pooped on.
I
Yeah.
love the background too of like Kevin Smith had to keep sending in edits because they kept giving him the NC-17 and he kept having to trim the poop scene, and but he wasn't gonna let it go, man. He was like, listen, like he kept fighting it, like I'm not taking it out. I'll knock off another second, but I'm not taking it off.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still really enjoyable here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, again, like it's just probably my number six, just because it's like more loosely tied to View Askew as opposed to yeah, like some of the rest of these, which are definitely you know within in that universe. But like, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you make a sequel or anything like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing it like in another movie these characters again, like especially Seth Rogen. So yeah,
Well, they
it's been
own a
good.
business at the end of the movie, man. It's just about them trying to keep their business afloat.
Yeah.
Coming in, we are now at number five here on the list, moving along. And again, I think it shows how good this list is. That my number five actually is the OG Clerks, going back all the way to 1994, black and white, which again I think was a decision simply made because the budget is super low. The truly independent film here about a kid who just kind of wanted to make a movie, and he did it. Put it on his parents' credit cards and took a chance, man, and it paid off. This movie I think still holds up here. Obviously, it's from a first time director, but at the same time, I don't, there's not, this is the kind of movie that doesn't need much more than the way it is shot. I think it fits it kind of perfectly here. I never watched this going like, oh, that's ugly or whatever. It's perfectly done for what you have going on here. You have Jeff Anderson and Brian Halloran absolutely only owning it as Randall and Dante, two characters that we're still excited about here in the year 2022 of revisiting them for a third time here. Luckily, Anderson, I believe, was the holdout and finally got on board here. And yeah, first viewings of any of these characters, first viewings of Jay and Silent Bob. It wasn't almost Kevin Smith as Bob, but he stood in because he didn't want to learn as many lines. He still wanted to be his own movie, just in case this was his only movie. But for many fans like me, like Richie, we're so glad it wasn't. And yeah, look, I love these old school trailers too, like how it's really hyping up the soundtrack. Jesus Lizard and Still Asylum. This is why you come to the movie. And which actually it does. It actually does have a good soundtrack that very fits the mood as well. So yeah, number five for me is Clerks.
Yeah. Good choice. Yeah, it does speak to his the caliber of his filmography. That yeah, that's number five. But yeah, actually my number five is not maybe I really enjoy. It was really controversial when it came out. He even picketed his own movie in the news. I'm gonna go Dogma. this I think this movie is really good. Yeah, I think yeah, I think yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm glad that he kind of went there. I think Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are great. Yeah, and I really like Alanis Morissette in this too. Wish she would. I know she's primarily like a musician, but I wouldn't mind
She's really
seeing her.
good in the TV show Weeds.
Yeah, like do more movies with Alanis if you're watching. Or more TV. It's good. Yeah, and yeah, the late Alan Rickman here is really awesome. So yeah, I gotta be honest. It was a movie that, like, I think when it came out, I was too young and I sort of watched it, and I thought it was, I just didn't get it. It was boring. But then I watched it, I watched it later on in that sort of my adult life, and I really grew to appreciate it. It's one of those, like, Kevin Smith's stronger films. So yeah, but so yeah, I think, yeah, Dogma's great.
Dogma is great here as we go on to number four. Number four here is, well, I talked about the first one. Let me go to the sequel now. Clerks 2. A movie that I'm sure at some point he never thought he'd make a sequel to, but he did in 2006. We caught up with Dante, with Randall. This time, after the first scene, of course, in glorious color here. And again, just a delightful pickup here. Gotta love Trevor Furman as Elias. I know almost as much as Randall. I was like, you can't do Clerks 3 without some more Elias. I need some more Elias. So I'm so glad we're seeing his return. Yeah, it goes by at a very nice pace. I've always found Clerks 2. It's another one where, again, I'm so down with the rewatch here. You find Jay and Bob. Jay's kind of going through sobriety here. He's he's got the great sounds to the left. Oh, just every time. I love that initial reaction. Just oh, and then of course dancing in the mirror, which evidently it's a very expensive song. I believe not in most trailers because they had to save it just for the movie because it was too expensive. And yeah, of course, his wife Jennifer Swellberg popping in, but when Rosario Dawson might have a crush on you, you know you're not ending up with with anyone but Rosario Dawson here. Man, is she so charming in this great dance sequence as well. Who knew? Like you almost like would. It just doesn't even sound right that a dance sequence works here, but it's fucking it does. And
Yeah.
there's some really nice somber moments as well. Great cameo by Kevin Smith's daughter. She kind of looks at Dante as he's kind of contemplating the future. And yeah, just I really good flick. It works. Makes me excited for the obvious film we're excited for this week, which I'll see, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. I want to see it tomorrow, but I booked myself for other things, which will be on over at the Movie Hero Network. But I'll see you Wednesday or Thursday. What do you got at number four?
Yeah, well, we talked about it before. Put the Ian put the first Clerks back out there. I think, yeah, like, I think this movie is a hell of an accomplishment. It's like, I think it's sort of, when you think about low budget films, and like the and success of low budget films, I think this movie always gets cited. Especially even in like film studies, and for good reason. It's a great success story here that he's able to carve up a great career. And yeah, I that some of the, like the dialogue, absolutely, like, with the movie that's just like primarily set in a convenience store, like, it has to be very, the dialogue has to be strong, yeah, and it is, uh, it's one of the, it's a beautifully written film, like, just like, in terms of just heart, and also just, the jokes, I think are fantastic. And yeah, I think, yeah, you can really feel the chemistry between Jeff Anderson and Brian O'Halloran here. And yeah, I like how on the Clerks 3 trailer they make a reference to the alternate ending for for this movie that was gonna that was like that apparently was gonna happen, but never did. I don't know if I should bring it up now, but yeah, I'll bring it up. It was an alternate ending, so it's not gonna happen. But yeah, the alternate ending was that Dante is gonna get shot, and they make reference to that in the Clerks 3 trailer. I think that was pretty funny. But yeah, but it's still a very good film, and yeah, yeah, and one, I think, yeah, like, yeah, I think, people should see it. And yeah, yeah, definitely one of a Hollywood success story, really, and yeah, launched a career, one of the more most beloved filmmakers today. So yeah.
Right on with that. We are now really in the top echelon here, number three. And again, it's getting hard to rank these because I have had Clerks 2 higher than this, but I kind of went with kind of my heart and the rewatchability here, and that is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's my number three. I just find this thing endlessly rewatchable. It is the one I have seen the most here. I was able to see it in theaters for the first time in the last year. My buddy Tim rents out a theater back where I moved from, and we had done a few different Kevin Smith movies. And I'm glad to get this under there. So I just again I love the journey here, man. Just starting off with Ben Affleck, teaching them what's going on with the movie logic. Some quick cameos from Carrie Fisher, George Carlin, to Will Ferrell hunting them down, John Nelson to Chris Rock, and everything kind of works, man. Some great puns with the Pie Fucker and Dawson's Creek. Some great stuff with Gus Van Der Sande just counting his money, and I love everything about it here. You even kind of fall for horny Jay falling in love with Shannon Elizabeth's character here. Like you kind of go for it because there is that's how perfectly Jason Mewes kind of plays his character. Of this could be kind of an unlikable horn dog who just smokes a lot of weed, but you fall in love with this horn dog that smokes a lot of weed here. And any movie with Eliza Dushku is a good thing. And yeah, it's this is one that I go to a lot. And any movie that also ends with it's just a good old dance sequence from Morris Day and the motherfucking times is all good with me. Jazz on Bob Strike back at number three.
And solid, solid. Um, well, yeah. On my number three, I would feel like it is a movie that it gives definitely I think a great love story, great commentary on relationships. I'm going Chasing Amy. I think Chasing Amy is a fantastic film. And I think I think it's one of Kim Smith's better written films. I think it's got a lot of messages here. The dogs agree.
No. The dogs that piss is low.
And so yeah, like every time I mention Chasing Amy, they're like, oh, that's our favorite film. No, it's yeah, I think I'm going to say, like I said, maybe miss a lot of more certain movies. I miss Joy Lauren Adams movies. I think she's really really great. And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing this character. I think she played it. I think she played it really wonderfully. I think this is one of Jason Lee's best performances. And it's a different use of Jay and Bob, which I like as well. It's like they're not, I think they're kind of, utilized differently here, but I really like their presence. So it fits the film. So Chasing Amy.
Very nice, very nice. Coming in at your number three. My number three. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're at number two now. Number two. You talked about it a little bit ago. Got to talk to me about some Dogma. Again, you mentioned the great, and you can find that clip online as well of him protesting his own movie here. I'm definitely the most, I think, interesting and like off the wall one here. But it works with you mentioned all the cast already. Alan Rickman, Matt Damon, and Ben Affleck are so good in this. That's why I wish they were a two for more. People always joke between this and Good Will Hunting how they're a two for. We need more because they're so good together here. Again, a kind of role that you could just like hate watch, but like you are very interested in them who are kind of on a killing spree at several points in the movie here. And she didn't say bless you. All right, let her go. And yeah, man, just great cast here. No Ticket, has some several laughs here. And the one thing I will only kind of disagree with you on, I also saw this young, and I definitely saw it in a different light, but I still enjoyed it here because you still have a lot of like fun stuff being thrown at you, whether it's a half naked Selma Hayek or a fully naked Chris Rock or a poop monster. You know what I mean? And you got Jane Bob cracking it up. So there's a lot to be loved in multiple levels of this movie here. So I got to go with number two for me is Dogma.
Yeah, no, solid. It is definitely a movie I need. It's due for a rewatch. I haven't watched it. I won't watch it in a little while here, but yeah, it's I don't own a lot of physical media, but I do own Dogma, so I'll probably put that on at some point this week, maybe in preparation to watching Clerks 3. Um, yeah, my number two. Uh, which you've already talked about, but my number two is Clerks 2. I think this is just a solid follow up to the original. And I think every new character serves well here. I think Rosario Dawson, like you said, is very charming. I think you believe the chemistry she has with Dante. Yeah, and yeah, I just she's great. And then yeah, uh, the yeah the Lord of the Lord of the Rings banter is probably my favorite one. But it's like even the trees walking in that movie. Yeah, they're just yeah. They're they're having to go at. I'm I'm blanking on names here. The newer character is a goth in the next one. The who you just talked about.
What?
The you know the Trevor, that guy. Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Elias. Yeah, Trevor Furman.
Elias.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I knew it was. Yeah, sorry, mind blanking today. Yeah, Elias. Yeah, I think Elias adds a lot to the movie. I think he's fantastic, and yeah, I think I couldn't. Like, yeah, I just he's like the best nerd, and like I just his back and forth with him and Jeff Anderson's great. Yeah, the the kinky Kelly stuff was really is
Another
fantastic.
one of my favorite line deliveries on top of me is going, "Oh, is Kinky Kelly like on top, like he's holding one of the jail cells and he just goes so simply, oh, I miss my donkey." Like he says it so earnestly.
my my friend actually has that like I don't know how, but he has that the dude who plays that guy on Facebook. So uh, yeah, but yeah, no, it's just a solid film, and then yeah, like every character's lovable, and yeah, just like yeah, the cameos are great, like the yeah, like when Jason Lee comes in, and then like they put like piss and fry these fries and things like you take it. Something tells me wouldn't like this very much. He's like, this tastes like piss and flies, man. uh, like the yeah, yeah. I just think yeah, yeah the yeah Wanda Sykes and that comedian back in the day called Earthquake I think is
Yeah, perfect.
yeah yeah they were great. Yeah, no, it seems it's really solid, really fun, and it's one I probably want to go back to more so than any one on this list, to be honest. But yeah,
It's that time, Richie.
all right. Mm.
It's that time. It is number one time. And me and yours humble opinions of the number one film in the View universe. Coming in from my number one. Again, well, I think it obvious is for both our ends. You've talked about it earlier. Chasing Amy is my number one film of the universe. The one from, I'm going to say Kevin James, Kevin Smith. His damn reboot joke was in my head. And yeah, man, I love this film here, man. It is absolutely funny. Some of the dialogue between Jason Lee, and then I think it has that heart in there, man, about young love, about acceptance, about realizing what people have in their past doesn't necessarily define them now. And I think it means even more to me. I feel like over the years, um, yeah, I think it's a truly tremendous film here. You mentioned before, Joey Lauren Adams. I think kind of between this and Big Daddy owned the '90s, big '90s crush of mine here. I think Affleck is great in this. I can see why Affleck wanted this role. I can see why Kevin Smith fought for him to have this role here because I guess the studio originally wanted David Schwimmer and I believe Drew
That's
Barrymore.
right.
And that's on top of them trying to recast Muse and Mallrats with Seth Green. So a lot of fun casting fuckery that they try to give Kevin Smith in his films here. But yeah, and then also too, I think a tremendous monologue by Kevin Smith himself here. Who so far has said, just a couple of words between Mallrats and Clerks, and finally, oh, you're chasing Amy, and and he goes in that whole big monologue of what he had went through and the doubts he had and how stupid he feels now. And I love that film, man. So Chasing Amy is my number one. Regina, my good anchor, what is your number one BOSU film?
Well, yeah, probably obvious at this point, but well, yeah, it is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I think this is like the epitome of a VSQ film. I just think like that, yeah, like it's just a fantastic road trip movie. Yeah, and like this just endlessly quotable again, especially at the start with the song. Him and like uh, yeah, that always gets in my head whenever I think of a Kevin Smith film. Yeah, that just and like the cameos along the way. You got like Sean William Scott, James Van Der Beek, Jason Biggs, even the directors Wes Craven and Gus Van Sant. I think yeah, it's just I think this movie is like they're just the tons of fun, and yeah, like again, you mentioned that yeah, like I mean, yeah, the Silent Bob doesn't talk for a reason, but like when I think it makes it good because when he does, it's kind of more memorable. Like so when he when he just starts yelling at him like the sign, you dumb fuck. I know that's just a memorable moment in the film, and yeah, there's infatuation with uh yeah I'm bad with names today. You talked about it before, Shannon. Uh,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah, from America. Yeah, that is really good. I have a lot of fun here, and yeah, like I mean, and like I said, I mean, I like Reboot, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. Yeah, just another film just with these guys in it too. So hopefully, they can find a way to, um, they can find a way to make that happen. But yeah,
Wait a minute. What? Say that again.
what like I want to see that movie just with like these guys in it, right? Like the Jane Silent Bob. Like I want to see another Jane Silent Bob film. I know they got reboot, but I don't know. I wouldn't
Okay.
mind
Yeah, so you
seeing it.
want to see a third movie? I got you. Well,
Yeah. What do you think I said?
no, I don't know. To me, the wording was weird. I was like, you're like, I don't know. Maybe I'm high. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah. I guess so. Yeah. I thought maybe I'll be in the minority that people wanted to see a third one. I don't know. Just after the second one, but like, yeah, I still
No, man.
really.
If you got the right script, man, I'm down for whatever, man. Like I said, as much as I don't like rave about reboot, give me a third one, man. I'll be in line just like I am Wednesday or Thursday for Clerks 3.
Yeah, I don't know what you like how you tell it though, yeah, because they're sort of lampooning other things. So there's like the James Gunn
It's
Bob
all
remake
about
reboot.
Harley Quinn's character becoming a big weed dealer.
I'd be down for that. Why not? Like, I know.
And Jay's got to show her the ways.
Oh,
Um, well, Richie, that was the Viewers universe. Any more words on the Viewers universe?
no, oh man, dude, yeah, just like I love like he was like the sort of the first person, like at least from my um like from my sort of movie viewing experience that like sort of was able to create sort of such a like a universe where everything's interconnected. It was like way before like yeah, MCU, DCEU. Like I just like how there's like they're all things are all interconnected because it makes you want to watch like the films even more. And
Yeah.
see how everything plays out. Yeah, and yeah, I think he the way he creates the way he writes characters is just fantastic. Every character is memorable, and yeah, I hope that yeah I know he's sort of doing his own like like he does his own side projects like with they have to mention like Tusk and Yoga Houses and Red State, which I don't mind. They're pretty good for what they are. They're kind of like
I
the
love Red State. I like Tusk. We'll stop there.
yeah. Like Yoga House is weird. It's probably his weaker one. But like I like I just like how he can do it. Like you said before, like he just does his own thing. He's like, screw it. I'm gonna make movies for me. But yeah, I do hope that he never sort of goes fully away from the USQ universe and still sort of tries to make movies within this yeah, within it. So yeah, like I know, like there was always talk about like Morax 2, whether that was going to be a movie or maybe a continuation TV series. That should be interesting. I mean, I'm biased. I'm more of a movie guy, so I'd prefer it as a movie, but as a TV show, that'd be cool. But yeah, or just
I
another.
wouldn't mind because we've never seen it from him yet. I don't hate an idea of a TV show. Like even like you were talking about Jay and Silent Bob earlier. I don't hate an idea of like a 6-10 episode season of just them and their freaking crazy adventures. And you could do an episode where maybe they run into Jason Lee from Mallrats, an episode of catching up with him and his daughter. You know what I mean? Like I could see
Yeah,
something like that working.
yeah, I could probably, yeah. I mean, it'd definitely get me to to watch something, but to watch it. But I just think that there's more to be had here in this world, and hopefully he explores it more. Even if you bring in maybe more Zack and Miri characters in, like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I mean, you'd have to you have to bring in people who aren't already playing other characters. It'd be weird if Jeff Anderson was the director, met Randall. That'd be weird. I mean, you could do it. It'd be kind of funny.
You know what though? Think about reboot. I mean, Kevin Smith was also Kevin Smith and also Silent Bob, and so they've done weird stuff.
Yeah. So I'm hopefully Clerks 3 does well, and that shows that they're still interested here, and that they can do just to play with a lot more within this universe. So no, this is fun, and I'm sure once Clerks 3 comes out, we'll probably do a Redux version of USQ, because I'm sure it'll probably be on this list somewhere.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing it. As Richie said, man, lots of love for the VS universe, lots of love for Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes. The world that they built is something that's always been fun to go back to here. Like I said, there's a movie on this list that I don't quite enjoy to a pretty decent degree here, if not absolutely love every little bit of my movies. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Let us know in the comments, what is your favorite VSU film? How excited are you for Clerks 3? I know I'm excited. I'll be seeing it maybe later this week. Maybe I'll drop a video review later on. We'll see. But until then, Snoochie Boochies, we love you more than you'll ever know. Love and equality.